Lee Simpson from Jefferies International joins me in the studio. Lee, thanks very much indeed for coming in. So we have earnings and revenue for Apple coming in pretty much below analyst estimates, a rare miss for the company. But does this sales shortfall essentially just come down to the timing of the iPhone 4S release?
It does in essence, I have to say. There is a bit of macro playback here as well. Clearly the consumer uncertainty is a main feature of 3Q reporting season. And we think there's a read-through for perhaps other handset OEMs, Nokia reporting tomorrow, for instance. As for Apple, I think this is a lot to do with the product transition. We can see that deferred revenues were up 25% Q-on-Q. So if, in essence, the actual build of handsets going into this quarter was still quite strong. So what you've got instead is a holdback, sort of keeping the consumer hungry, if you like, for the fourth quarter period when we had a new handset coming out.
And so I'm just wondering, you mentioned the consumer uncertainty also being something of a factor here. How is that impacting the industry and then companies like Nokia, which are set to report?
Yeah, it's been an interesting feature of margin decline, price erosion, a lot of Me Too type profiles as well. Everyone chasing the same form factor and look and feel of an iPhone. We are in this period now where we have a big smartphone market now, and there'll be a lot of winners. It's no coincidence that we've got Google's first Nexus handset with the ice cream sandwich on board coming out today as well. I think Samsung and Google together will be strong players in this market, but for my money at least, Apple will remain the secular OEM. It has a great stitch together of operating system, product and app store.
And what is Google's latest Android operating system, the ice cream sandwich, going to mean for Apple and Samsung? How does it position them in the war, if you like?
Yeah, it reinvigorates the debate as to what is a good handset. I mean, clearly you come with a lot of good tech hardware from Samsung, the screen technology, the guts that are inside, but the platform is a lot faster. You know, Google's put a lot of work into actually delivering an operating system that would deliver software and services in excess, perhaps, of what we've got in the iOS 5.
All right, so just moving back to Apple then, because you're saying that essentially the reaction that we've seen, shares falling in after-hours trade, it is an exaggeration, it's been overdone on the part of many investors. Does that mean that you think they will make up for this shortfall in sales in the next few months?
I think so. I mean, we've got very strong pre-ordering for the 4QS already, 4S already, the iPhone 4S, 4 million in the first weekend. We suspect that there's 7 million already sold this quarter to date, and we're on track for 30 million. That's a reinvigoration of the growth at Apple again.
And the interesting thing about this is that we had Apple disappointing analysts, but we did see a very different story for Intel, didn't we? Because the world's largest chip maker managed to beat estimates off the back of strong laptop sales in emerging markets. That was a big driving factor. Also demand for chips that power computer service. Now, there had been a concern that the growth in tablet computers and smartphones would hurt PC sales. So far, Intel has struggled to get its chips in either of these devices. Company's CFO, though, is insisting that would soon change.
We have design wins that will come to market in the phone space where you'll see Intel Silicon inside of shipping phones in the first half of next year. So we're right on the cusp of that.
So what did you think of Intel's results?
I mean, we like it. I mean, we've got it on a hold. I think these guys have to come back to confessional and say, look, we've got to derate our numbers, but it's just not just now. This is a high-end server play, exactly as you said. Your commentary was bang on, actually. And so you just say, look, there's a margin decline story coming next year, sales decline, but it's all baked into the price. There's buybacks and div yield. So this thing isn't going to underperform in a share price.
Lee Simpson, Senior Equity Research Analyst at Jefferies International. Thanks very much.